From Citizen TV, this is Friday Night with Lilian Mooley.
A very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us tonight. As always, it's so great to have you with us on the show. Tonight, we will be looking into the plight of street children in Nairobi. We often talk about boys, but rarely do we talk about the plight of the girls living on the streets, be it in Nairobi or other adjacent cities. What is the plight of a girl living on the streets? We will be taking a look into issues that these girls go through every day, as well as how they have overcome some of these challenges and the people that have walked them through this journey. That will be on the show tonight, plus much more. Let's take a look at stories making headlines tonight.
The container was carrying coffee for export. Na hiyo container ndio imeleta shida yote.
Wame identify positively majama zao na wanapanga kuhamisha mwili zao kutoka hifadhi hii ya Molo wakirudisha Kitale na wengine pia Malindi.
Tragedy at Migaa Black Spot. Families mourn as 13 lives lost in Nakuru Eldoret highway accident.
Meru imekuwa katika mateka ya nyara, mateka ya uongozi ubaya, lakini finally God has done it and we want to thank God.
Governor Mwangaza dimmed as High Court upholds Senate impeachment verdict.
He suffered multiple trauma. He has severe injury to the chest and to the head. And the head was completely crushed.
Foreign national killed by Ruto's motorcade in Nairobi was a British philanthropist who arrived in Kenya 2 weeks ago. Sudan halts imports from Kenya in protest against hosting of RSF rebel group. A very good evening to you once again. Many thanks for joining us. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Belinda Phillips. Families that lost their loved ones in a grisly road accident in Migaa, Salga, Nakuru County on Friday morning have begun identifying the remains of their kin at the Molo Sub-County Hospital morgue. Kenya Red Cross officials report that 6 families have transferred the remains of their loved ones from the Molo Sub-County Hospital morgue after positively identifying them. Marianne Nyambura reports.
Grief-stricken family members pitched camp at the Molo Sub-County Hospital morgue on Friday afternoon, making frantic calls, perhaps to their loved ones. The family members were here to identify the remains of their kin who died in a road accident at Migaa in the wee hours of Friday. Jane Kilonzo was escorted by Red Cross officials to the hospital morgue entrance. She lost 2 loved ones in the crash.
Tulikuwa tunapanga mazishi ya my sister ambaye alikuwa ameaga this week on Tuesday, na tukakuwa na hiyo mpango ya kusafiri ili tuende tukapange mazishi tupumzishe dada yetu. Sasa huyo ni ndugu yangu ambaye alitoka Kitale jana, alikuwa atoke mchana, sijui ilifanyikaje, ikasemekana wametoka usiku. Sasa wakati bibi yake alinipigia jioni akaniambia your son na your brother wamesafiri wanaenda Nairobi, nikamwambia ni sawa.
Na tumekuja hapa kwa mochari, hasa sisi tumethibitisha kwamba baba mdogo na my cousin hawako, maana tumewaona.
The Nairobi-bound 11-seater matatu that belongs to Kitale Shuttle was hit from the rear after the driver of the truck lost control of the vehicle due to brake failure. Both vehicles were heading in the Nakuru direction.
Ikagonga hizo ukuta 20. Baada ya kugonga ukuta ilifuata hiyo matatu, nini yake ikatoka hiyo container. The container was carrying coffee for export. Na hiyo container ndio imeleta shida yote, ikalalia matatu na ikapeleka matatu mpaka kwa mtaro.
All passengers on board the matatu, the truck driver and conductor, died on the spot.
Tumekuwa tukiambia Kenha wasibe hii barabara. Mara ya kwanza tuliambiwa wasibe hii barabara, hawakusiba wakafunika pale. Tunaomba kwamba wasibe hii barabara. yani mtaro. Hii shoulder ya barabara imechimbuka mpaka ndio imeua watu wengi.
7 more bodies are preserved at the Molo Sub-County Hospital morgue, awaiting identification. Miriam Nyambura, Citizen TV.
A foreign national who was struck and killed instantly along Gong Road as President William Ruto's motorcade moved through Langata and Kibera constituencies has been identified. The victim, 79-year-old Edgar Charles Frederick, was a British philanthropist who had travelled to Kenya on a charitable mission. As Franklin Wala reports, an autopsy revealed that Edgar suffered multiple traumatic injuries, confirming the severity of the hit and run that claimed his life.
What began as a routine presidential tour took a devastating turn on day 4 when President Ruto's motorcade fatally struck a pedestrian along Gong Road. The victim has been identified as 79-year-old Edgar Charles Frederick, a British national, whose life was tragically cut short in the convoy accident. He had only been in the country for 2 weeks, a visit meant to reunite with the family. A homecoming that would unknowingly be his last. Edgar Charles Frederick, a former banker and a devoted philanthropist, was more than just a visitor. To the locals of Adams Arcade, he was a lifeline. Each time he returned, he brought more than just warm greetings. He brought hope. Whether through food donations, financial aid, or funding education, Edgar's generosity touched countless lives. An autopsy at Lee Funeral Home revealed the devastating toll of the hit and run, multiple traumatic injuries that left no chance for survival.
He suffered multiple trauma. He has severe injury to the chest and to the head. And the head was completely crushed, and the left chest also was completely crushed. There was injury to all the ribs on the left were broken. There was also a rupture of the aorta.
Edgar's body was left unrecognizable, shattered beneath the weight of the speeding convoy. The pathologist confirmed the grim possibility. After being knocked down, he was mercilessly run over by multiple vehicles.
A particular injury that you're seeing, that the ribs on the left are crushed, the hip, the ribs, and the head, it's possible that he was run over on the left side of the body completely.
It does not in any way justify, because you're in a presidential motorcade, to drive recklessly, even on a zebra crossing, as this, philanthropist has been killed.
Edgar's family, represented at the autopsy at Lee Funeral Home, confirmed plans to repatriate his body to England, where he will be laid to rest. A journey meant to be a brief visit home has now become a somber farewell. Meanwhile, the National Police Service has released a statement confirming the arrest of the driver involved in the fatal hit and run. However, he was later freed on cash bail as investigations into the tragic incident continue. Behind me is a zebra crossing area where the president's motorcade knocked and killed a pedestrian on the spot. The president's motorcade was moving from Langata constituency to Kibera constituency to address political rallies. Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
President William Ruto wrapped up his 5-day tour of Nairobi County today on a political note, listing some of his achievements as president thus far, asking Kenyans to judge him in 2027 by his performance. The president, who addressed roadside rallies, cheekily asked the residents of the 4 constituencies he visited to add his new nicknames to 10 to march the years he intends to be in power. Emmanuel Tor reports.
His day 5 of his Nairobi County working tour started with visits to Kasarani, Embakasi Central, Embakasi West and Makadara constituencies. The president embracing nicknames Kenyans have given him, that are critical of his performance in what appeared to be the launch of his campaign for re-election, as he chided the charged crowd to match the names they have given him to the years he will be in office.
Nimekubali muniongezee majina mpaka ifike 10 itoshane na miaka 10, ama mnasema namna gani? Mpaka hata jana naona mumeniongezea ingine ati El Chapo.
The head of state addressed roadside rallies on his way to launching several development projects, enumerating what he described as his success so far, asking Kenyans to make their choices on his report card.
Simulisema nipange mambo ya afya. Si mimi naendelea na kupanga mambo ya SHA. Ama namna gani? Si nyinyi ndio mtaamua kule mbele. Si 2027 nyinyi ndio mtaamua.
The president continuing to preach his unity message a week after he solemnized his political marriage with the ODM leader Raila Odinga.
Na hii serikali inatutosha sisi wote. Sio lazima jamii moja itoke ndio ingine ingie.
Kenya is enough for all of us, and everyone can be part and parcel of Kenya's destiny. Let us stay united.
Wiki rais amekuja na ametenda zile vitu ambavyo tunataka kuleta maendeleo Nairobi. Tushike rais, tumuombee maisha refu, afanye kazi vile inatakikana.
The president launched several projects, including a 700 million shilling project for the Nairobi water and sanitation program, Umoja Sewerage System. Emmanuel Toh, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
The family of Chief Inspector Nicholas Aguk Obala, who died in the line of duty on the 7th of February 2025, is demanding answers over the lack of investigations into his death. Obala was reportedly struck by a vehicle while facilitating the presidential convoy at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. His family alleges that the entire motorcade sped past the injured officer, leaving him behind after he was hit by a defiant driver. Ode Francis reports.
As many shots as you can.
It is along this road that on 7th February 2025 around 5 p.m.
into the airport. So he should be standing here, the final man.
The base commander at Embakasi Police Station, Chief Inspector Nicholas Aguk Obala, was knocked down by a defiant motorist as he was ushering the presidential entourage into the VIP wing of Jomo Kenyatta Airport.
So this defiant vehicle defied the order of the first police officer barricading vehicles from Otawala. He defied the second police officer, the rider in between. And then Mzee, by instinct, I'm imagining he felt that this guy was to create some chaos on the motorcade. So then he went into the road to stop him. This vehicle allegedly ran over him and went. In our understanding, that is a guarded area with CCTV cameras.
The family says no details of the vehicle nor occupants have been disclosed for 4 weeks now.
We are worried as a family that in a presidential motorcade, where we have a senior officer who has served this nation for close to 30 years, such kind of an exercise or such kind of an accident could take place without noticing the vehicle that was involved, and secondly, without anybody bothering to at least check on what has happened so that keen and immediate attention can be given to the victim.
When we demanded CCTV footages, we were told that the CCTVs were giving blurred images.
The apparent inaction by the relevant departments has raised suspicions of a potential cover-up.
Was that he was ridden into the hostel without his trouser. He was in full combat, but only the top. He was in his inner pant. Eventually, when we went to the station to clear of his possessions, we were told that they had washed the trouser, they had taken it to a laundry, and we were given all these uniforms already cleansed.
There is some cover up to this accident. The clarity we are not seeing clarity. We are not seeing any report being given to us, and that is it is bringing a lot of suspicion to the family that maybe there is somebody who knew what was happened. So there needs to be clarity on whether there was a conspiracy to eliminate Mzee from his workplace. And if there was no conspiracy, then the Embakasi police station, the traffic headquarters, and all relevant security apparatus should be able to explain to the family on what exactly transpired.
So far, the Director of Public Prosecution, together with the Inspector General, have confirmed receipt of the complaint.
He was involved in the duty of clearing the road for the president. An errant driver who defied all odds and who allegedly was overspeeding met Obala when he was unaware. An errant driver sped off, and this is what we call hit and run accident.
Seriously, in the present age of technological advancement, a senior police officer can be hit by a vehicle and then just go scot-free?
The family of Chief Inspector Nicholas Ogwok Obala faces a dilemma: to push for unexpedited investigations or to mourn their loss with unanswered questions lingering. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
The High Court has dimmed Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza's political light, upholding the Senate's decision to remove her from office. In his ruling, Justice Bahata Mwamuye dismissed Mwangaza's petition, stating that the constitutionally laid out procedure for impeaching a governor was followed. Safin Achieng' Ouma details the Friday decision that considerably dents hopes of political survival for the embattled governor, who was impeached thrice within 2 years of her election.
Should uphold the sanctity of impeachment.
In a packed courtroom Friday morning, Kawira Mwangaza's political survival was dealt a damaging blow. This is after the High Court upheld her impeachment as Meru governor.
The Gazette notice dated 20th August, published on 21st August 2024, and issued by the respondent communicating the decision and/or resolution of the Senate to remove the petitioner from office as the governor of Meru County by way of impeachment is affirmed.
Justice Bahati Mwamuye ruled that Mwangaza's petition seeking to overturn her ouster lacks merit.
While the petitioner has pointed out certain aspects of the proceedings that she considers unfair, such as limited debate time, the opportunity to make a personal statement, the alleged chaotic nature of the proceedings, the timing of official communications, and the perceived haste in concluding the impeachment, none of these claims have been substantiated sufficiently to warrant a finding that her fair hearing rights were violated.
On whether the threshold for public participation was met, the court stated that, while it is a constitutional requirement, public participation in the context of impeachment happens at the county level and not at the Senate. Mwangaza's argument that the Senate acted in defiance by proceeding with her impeachment despite ongoing court proceedings was also dismissed. Justice Mwamuye concluded that procedural requirements for impeachment were met.
The court has assessed the totality of the impeachment process and found that the petitioner was given ample opportunity to present her case and respond to allegations leveled against her.
The decision by the High Court throws a spanner in the works on the eventful political career of Kawira Mwangaza, who floored 2 male political giants to become one of the 7 elected female governors after the August 9, 2022 general election.
Meru imekuwa katika mateka ya nyara, mateka ya uongozi ubaya, lakini finally God has done it and we want to thank God.
Na tunatarajia kwamba kama MCAs wa Meru sasa tutaweza kupata zile pesa za World Fund venye tulikuwa tumekawa kwa bajeti, na mwananchi barabara ambazo wamekuwa kilia zinaenda kufanyika, hospitali dawa ambazo zilikuwa zinapatikana pale zinakupatikana.
Senators upheld Meru County Assembly's impeachment of Mwangaza in August 2024, the third such within her first 2 years in office. In December 2022, a special committee of the Senate voted against impeaching her after the Meru Assembly had impeached her. In October 2023, a Senate plenary again voted not to impeach her after the Meru County Assembly had done so. Safin Acheng Omar, Citizen TV.
Across borders, Sudan has banned all Kenyan exports in retaliation for Kenya's backing of the Rapid Support Forces RSF as they push to establish a parallel government. According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Kenya exported goods worth 6.7 billion shillings to Sudan in the year 2023, 10 times what it imported. Sudan is also a key market for Kenya's value-added tea, and this move comes as Kenya faces growing international isolation over its stance on the RSF. However, as Olive Barrows reports, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs remains undeterred.
In response to what it's described as an act of hostility towards the people of Sudan, the Sudanese government has declared a trade war on Kenya. Sudan's Ministry of Trade and Supply has suspended the import of all products from Kenya, and they will not be allowed to pass through all ports, crossings, airports and outlets, the ministerial directive instructs. This action, Sudan's Minister of Trade, Omar Ahmed Mohamed Ali, explains in a memo, has been taken in response to Kenya's hosting of the Rapid Support Forces and its allies and the sponsorship of their activities and meetings. It has therefore justified the trade ban as an affirmation of Sudan's sovereignty and protection of its national security. An action Kenya's Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary, Korir Sing'oei, has described as, quote, a gross overreaction. His statement to Citizen TV reading, it will not deter Kenya from privileging dialogue as the only mode of resolving the Sudanese conflict. And that the war in Sudan has already cut into Kenya's exports to Sudan by almost 90%. Kenya, his statement reads, would rather a peaceful Sudan than the privilege of servicing a considerably diminished market. According to the Tea Board of Kenya, there was a 12% dip in Kenya's exports of tea to Sudan in 2024 on account of the civil war that erupted in April of 2023. Despite which, Sudan came only second to the United Kingdom in the import of Kenya's value-added tea, with a total import value of 2.3 billion shillings. Kenya's support for RSF as it moves to establish a parallel government could also cost Kenya in soft power, as the US, the UN Security Council and the African Union's Peace and Security Council, all in the last 2 weeks, cautioned against such a move. The UN Security Council expressing grave concern over the signing of a charter to establish a parallel governing authority in Sudan and reaffirming their strong commitment to the sovereignty, unity and territorial integrity of Sudan, while urging all member states to refrain from external interference. The U.S., in supporting the UN Security Council statement, also condemned the reported pervasive conflict-related sexual violence perpetrated most extensively by the RSF and its allied militia on women and children as young as 1 year old. The AU Peace and Security Council went further to call on all AU member states not to recognize or provide support to any armed or political group toward the establishment of a parallel government or state entity in the Republic of Sudan. Olive Barrows, Citizen TV.
And the Kenyan government is once again under scrutiny over its repeated requests for funds to support the Haiti peacekeeping mission, despite earlier assurances that taxpayers would not bear the cost. In a supplementary budget currently before the National Assembly, the Liaison Committee has approved a 2.5 billion shillings request to fund the mission. And this follows an earlier request of 2.1 billion shillings, which the Treasury said would be reimbursed by the UN. The situation worsened after US President Donald Trump froze 1.7 billion shillings meant for the UN Trust Fund, casting doubt on Kenya's deployment funding, as Emily Chebet reports.
The debate over who is funding Kenya's Haiti mission refuses to fade. The deployment of 200 Kenyan police officers to the Caribbean nation was met with resistance from sections of Kenyans who argued that the mission was not a national priority. The government has consistently defended the multinational security mission, insisting that its financial burden is being carried by contributions from member nations. However, despite repeated assurances that Kenyan taxpayers would not foot the bill, the government is now seeking an additional 2.5 billion through a supplementary budget currently before the National Assembly. This comes after an earlier request of 2.1 billion Kenya shillings, raising fresh concerns over transparency and priorities.
Hatuwezi kugoja tena wale askari wawe wanarudishwa katika nchi yetu ya Kenya wakiwa katika jeneza, na sisi wa Kenya wenyewe ndio tunagharamia ile gharama ya kuweka wale askari pale Haiti. Na tunajua ya kwamba Marekani tayari washakataa kugharamia ule mpango. Ile bilioni 5 inaweza kumaliza hii barabara yetu ya Gikondi na imalize barabara zingine. Pesa yetu isitumiwe vibaya.
Badala ya kulia that the American administration has withdrawn USAID in order to now cover that gap, our advice would have been very simple. That you withdraw our Haiti children, withdraw them.
On February 4, 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a freeze on more than $13 million in funding for the International Security Force assisting Haiti in combating armed gangs, a move that sparked concerns over the welfare of Kenyan security officers deployed there. February 5, 2025, National Security to the President Monica Juma assured that there were sufficient funds in the UN Trust Fund, estimating the contributions from other countries to be around $110 million. February 6, 2025, in a surprising turn, President William Ruto tweeted that he had spoken to U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who confirmed that the multinational security support mission in Haiti was exempt from the border freeze on U.S. federal assistance. With these unfolding events, the government now faces mounting scrutiny over its spending priorities. Emily Chebet, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Let's take a look at the latest at the IEBC selection panel, and 11 candidates have been shortlisted for interviews to be the new chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Selection panel chairperson Dr. Nelson Makanda says the interviews, which are scheduled to start on Monday next week, will go on for 1 month. Stephen Leto reports.
The IEBC selection panel races against time to hand Kenyans a new electoral body. It has today shortlisted candidates for the positions of chairperson and commissioners of IEBC that have made it to the list of interviews. Former chairman of the Commission for Implementation of the Constitution of Kenya, CIOC, Charles Nyachae, is one of the notable figures in the list published by the selection panel. Former Judiciary Registrar Anne Amadi has also been shortlisted for interviews on her suitability to serve as the chair of IEBC. Amadi hit the headlines at the tail end of her service in the judiciary when a victim of a gold scam dragged her name into the widely publicized fiasco. Joy Mdivo, who has been the chair of the UDA Party Electoral Disputes Committee, is also scheduled for the interview next week alongside former Nairobi Assembly Clerk Jacob Ngwele as well as Francis Kakai. Others shortlisted for the IEBC chairmanship slot are Abdul Kadir Lorot, a magistrate in Naivasha, Edward Katama, Erastus Ethekon, Lilian Wanjiku, Robert Asembo, and Simiyu Wasilwa. According to the IEBC selection panel, the oral interviews shall be held in ballroom at the College of Insurance, South Sea in Nairobi County, and shall be conducted in public. Another 104 applicants have been shortlisted to fill the vacant positions of the 6 commissioners. The panel has told members of the public to avail in writing under oath by memoranda any information of interest with respect to the suitability of any of the shortlisted applicants to serve as chairperson and member of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. On 30th of January this year, the IEBC selection panel promised Kenyans that they will hire a new electoral team in 85 days. The 85 days were to lapse at the end of April, with the interview set to close on the 24th of April, meaning the panel is still within its strict timelines. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Very many thanks for watching Friday Night. We're going to be taking our very first break right here, and we'll be back with much more in just a bit. Stay with us. Forgotten Daughters, how Atala Rescue Center is transforming the lives of girls saved from the streets.
Royal Mabati Factory Limited, your one-stop shop for affordable and quality guaranteed roofing solutions. Grab our offers. Pay 40%, get same-day production, relax at home, and enjoy free delivery. Call us on 0722 638383. Order today at www.royalmabati.com.
Mabrother, chekini story fulani la penjuzi mtani record manze.
Lakini bro, kazi itakuwa tu ni kujaza simu na hizi mavida.
Ai, kujinice tu kaka.
Mwananchi gani huyo anarada medali ya pesa?
Leta tenje ni kushow vile tutaomoka. Citizen Digital wako na platform fulani kwa site yao inaitwa Wananchi Reporting. Hapa unaweza tuma story yako kwa website yao ama kwa app yao ya Citizen Digital. Na kama hiyo process ni ngumu, unaweza tuma story kwa email yao, WhatsApp number ama uitumie kama SMS.
Alafu gani napataje bro?
After story yako imepublishiwa, hapo ndo una receive 1000 kwa simu yako.
Bro, au umenichanua.
Don't just witness the news, be part of breaking it. Download the Citizen Digital app and share your story with Wananchi Reporting today. Citizen Digital.
Roto Tanks. Roto Tanks. Built like a tank.
The Smarter Bundle. Bundle imetosha. 30 GB monthly data. 400 minutes talk time to any network. 100% rudishiwa on Airtel Money transactions, bank to wallet, pay bills, and agent withdrawals. Subscribe to the Smarter Bundle today. Dial *544# or visit My Airtel app. Airtel Smarter Bundle. Browse, chat, call Airtel Money. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Great yummy taste, gotta hack it. I spread bread, pate nguvu, gotta pack it. Napaka nyweki design ya mokoro. Blue Panda, Juni natural cocoa. 5 vitamins, una grow plus ni tam nani. One by one, tuna flow with the energy. Dance to the beat, feel the adrenaline. Vibes ni polite. Step into the motion. Tuna hack snack na ki blue band choco for your growth. Juni
kote nchini mbele tuendelee mbele Kenya twende mbele
Kenya Twende Mbele. NCBA. Go for it.
In Kuwait, we can see people prepare to welcome the holy month as they gather their goods, decorate their homes, and also partake in acts of worship and prayer. The holy month not only brings upon opportunities for celebration, but it also brings with it the revival of religious rituals that have been passed down for many generations. Local markets can be seen supplying traditional goods and foods throughout the areas. The people of Kuwait also make sure to prepare the diwans, where the people of Kuwait meet to converse during the holy month of forgiveness and closeness.
Welcome back. More than 500 community workers from the Redeemed Integrated Development Agency implementing projects under World Vision are up in arms over unpaid December 2024 and January 2025 salaries. The workers held demonstrations on Friday accusing the management of taking them in circles whenever they seek their dues. RIDA, which relied on donor funding from USAID, suspended all project activities on the 27th of January 2025 following a memo issued to staff after the US government froze the funds. Citizen TV's Ben Kirui has the details.
Community workers affiliated to the Redeemed Integrated Development Agency RIDA in Babadogo area of Ruaraka have once again taken to the streets demanding payments for months of unpaid work. The protesters, who serve under RIDA's projects implemented by World Vision, claim they have not received their dues for December and January.
Sasa penye mimi nimefikia hapa sasa tumeenda oda yote, tumeenda World Vision, tumeenda RIDA wanatutupia tear gas, hatuna kitu yenye tunafanya. Ile kitu tunaweza omba kwa saizi tu ni serikali tusaidie. PS wote NGO board wakuje waangalie pesa yetu inazama. Na hii pesa si kidogo. Hii yenye nadai kidogo tuko 800 people yenye tunadai pesa.
RIDA is among the many organizations impacted by the US President Donald Trump's decision to freeze USAID donations to Africa, which has hit several community-driven initiatives hard. A memo dated January 27, 2025 from World Vision, the agency overseeing RIDA projects, ordered the immediate suspension of all project activities. According to the directive, only expenses incurred up to January 24th will be reimbursed. However, the workers say they continued their duties until the end of January without compensation.
Tulipata hiyo habari on 19th that Trump anasimamisha mradi. So we were called on a meeting. Now it was communicated to us that mradi inasimama for 90 days, of which we understood as the mradi ilikuwa under review. We understood. But we were promised that any money that we signed before the 23rd of December, the money has been received by 23rd of January. The money has been received and you're going to get paid for January, because January we worked for January hadi kaisha.
Mimi nina hakika pesa iko kwa sababu sisi tulifanya kazi December. Imagine from December paka sasa mtu hajalipwa pesa.
The suspension has left 400 mentors, 390 facilitators and 67 permanent staff in financial limbo. Mentors and facilitators, who relied on a monthly stipend of 10,000 Kenyan shillings, are bearing the brunt of the funding freeze.
So as mentors, we've been frustrated and facilitators, frustrated so much. We've been working under pressure, mental torture. You see, we've gone through so much that this 10,000 is something little that they can't afford to pay us. They should pay us.
RIDA's management has denied accusations of withholding payments, asserting that they are merely following World Vision's directives. RIDA board chairman Reverend Gideon Zioki stated that while the funds are available, no transactions can be processed until further notice, but the workers aren't convinced.
Tumekuwa tukipewa promises after promises after promises. So tukaamua we create a group to demand our payment.
For now, they have been asked to wait out the 90-day suspension, clinging to hope as they face an uncertain future. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Chief Magistrate Stella Atambo has denied corruption allegations leveled against her by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC and called for the return of 2 million shillings seized from her family, insisting that the money belongs to her husband. EACC has been put to task over its decision to withhold the full name of Magistrate Atambo when seeking search warrants for her residence, opting to identify her as Bonareri N in the court documents, a move that has sparked debate over the transparency in legal proceedings. In the meantime, Magistrate Charles Ondieki disqualified himself from the matter, citing a personal relationship with Atambo and her husband.
The EACC is trying to get orders without material non-disclosure, and these orders are ex parte, which means the respondent is then denied the right to be heard at that juncture.
The investigating officers, knowing too well that the money that they recovered from Mr. Achoki's house, the 2,070,000 shillings, belongs to my client, Mr. Achoki, which was recorded in an inventory, went ahead last evening to make a publication in a manner to suggest that this money is a proceed of crime flowing from some certain bribes that were received by the Honorable Stella Atambo. This is very unfortunate.
We have full instructions to sue the commission called EACC for the purpose of disbandment on the grounds that, one, they occasioned a forgery before the court of law.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has called for the immediate arrest of all perpetrators of the Transmara Kisii skirmishes, which have caused loss of lives and property. Speaking on Friday at Kiango and Monianku along the Kisii-Transmara border, Murkomen led Narok and Gusii leaders in a joint reconciliation meeting to end 2 weeks of arrest in the area. Leaders drawn from Narok and Kisii vowed to unite their communities for peaceful coexistence, in addition to launching a peace tournament in the disturbed area in an effort to quell simmering animosity among communities in the border area. Education CS Migos Ogamba was among dignitaries who graced the peace event.
Mimi nataka niseme kwamba haitoshi kwamba tumerudisha ng'ombe. Mimi nimetangaza leo kwamba mwenye aliiba ng'ombe lazima atafutwe, akamatwe, afungwe.
Maneno vita ina affect watoto. Nimeona watoto wadogo hapa na mimi ni mwalimu wa education. Hawa watoto wako kwa roho yangu sana. Mkipigana hawa watoto ndio wanaumia, si ndio? Niwauliza hawa watoto kweli wanajua tribes?
Kwa niaba ya viongozi wa Kisii kutoka sehemu yote ya Kisii, Bomachoge, Borabu, mimi kama kiongozi kutoka hii area yote ya Kisii ninaomba msamaha kama tumewakosea mahali.
Watu wetu hawajai kupigana kwa miaka zaidi ya miaka 20. Watoto wetu vijana, unachukua silaha kupeleka wapi jamani?
Kunaonekana kuna fugo mmoja na mbili ambao haijarudishwa. So mimi ningependa kuomba zile border committees na pamoja na machifu wetu tena warejelee lile swala. Na ni kitu gani inaweza kutufanya tupigane?
Calls to bring to book those involved in the murder of Gilbert Kinyua inside the Kenyatta National Hospital ward dominated speeches at his burial in Mukurweini constituency as his family laid him to rest in his family's home. The 39-year-old was found lying lifeless with his throat slit in Ward 7B at KNH early last month. And while investigations proceed, they are proceeding at snail pace. The family wants a more efficient probe to provide answers they desperately seek. The Somba ceremony also saw the family demand compensation for their loss.
Justice ya Kinyua moyo haitarudi, lakini justice ya Kinyua irudi.
Kwa sasa hatuwezi sema alale salama. Hapana. Hatuwezi sema alale salama mpaka hata yeye atusaidie kwa hii vita kupata haki yake. Na hatujapata njia yoyote ambayo inatuonyesha tutapata ile haki tunatafuta.
Kama vile mtu akikufa kwa accident analipwa na insurance, huyu kijana amekufa kwa mikono ya serikali, lazima serikali impatie familia yake fidia, lazima wamlipe. Na hii mambo tutafuatilia katika bunge, tutafuatilia katika koti.
The Paza Sauti Foundation has officially been launched today at the St. Andrew's PCA Church in Nairobi. Led by various women across the country, the foundation aims at amplifying voices, empowering women, widows, and vulnerable communities in the country, impacting good and sustainable change with an approach aimed at cultivating grassroots engagement, surveys, and research.
Through our short, medium, and long-term goals, which are encompassed in our strategic plan, and the development of policy frameworks, Paza Sauti projects to impact various communities across Kenya. And we will. Paza Sauti will be known as the foundation that genuinely cares, genuinely listens, and genuinely promotes visibility and also offers real solutions to vulnerable groups.
You must look at what is in your hands and work with it. Work with it. What talent has God given you? work with it, sindio? So how to protect, how to plan. Pensions, hizo muangalie, kuna ways of doing it. Then kuna hiyo nini, non-financial. Hapo ndio tunaongea information, education, na networking. Tutawa educate, tutawa inform, pale kuna opportunity.
Now, the following story is a story that's very close to my heart because I actually got to spend time with these children. And if you're a parent or you've interacted with children, you do know, and of course, this is common knowledge, that children are children and they should just be allowed to be that. Now, Nairobi street children, often labeled chokora, are easily recognized by their sacks slung over their backs as they sift through trash or weave between cars, hands outstretched for spare change. Among them are girls disguised as boys for protection. Tonight, we delve into the heartbreaking reality of these forgotten daughters, battling hunger, fear, and unimaginable dangers. At Dorothea Rescue Center in Tala, they find refuge, healing, and a chance to reclaim their stolen childhoods. Join us as we uncover their journey from survival to renewal and the heroes making it possible. Part of the chaotic streets of Nairobi and other adjacent cities, young girls, some as young as 4, scavenge through overflowing dustbins in search of scraps of discarded food. The usually frail street children clutch small bottles of glue, inhaling the thick toxic substance that helps numb their trauma and disguise their hunger. They bear the ravages of the weather, from the scalding hot sun during the day to the biting cold of the night, their small bodies enduring the extremes without mercy. In these very same streets, fate in the form of sisters from Our Lady of Assumption Dorothea Rescue Center intervene. With gentle hands and open hearts, they continue to pull these children from the cold, unforgiving streets into a sanctuary that offers safety and care. These are the lived experiences of girls who have lived on the streets of Nairobi and beyond.
Kenye mimi nilifanya nitoke kwetu ni kitu moja, vile tulikuwa tunaishi kwetu. Mamangu na babangu walikosana. Mamangu akaolewa na baba wa kambo. Babangu akakuwa wazimu akapelekwa Kenyatta. Baba wa kambo, mimi vile kama tuseme kwa mfano, sijua kuna kitu inaniingilianga na toroka kwetu. Nikishatoroka tuseme kwa mfano, leo nikitoroka mamangu alikuwa ananifunga. Mamangu nikirudi nyumbani ananifunga na nyororo. Na nikaanza kutoroka kwetu. Nikaanza kukaa base. Vile nakaa base, nikaanza base ya Tao Tomboya. Vile nilikaa base, nilikuwa nalala kwa gunia. Nikiamka asubuhi napigwa na mapolisi. Nilikuwa nateswa. Mimi story yangu nilizaliwa kwa street na nikalelewa kwa street. Nilitoka base ya Tomboya Street na nilikuwa na duru. Kuduru ni kubeg, ile yenye unakaribia mtu namwambia, brother nisaidia at least na kakumi ninunue chakula. Ama sometimes unaenda unauza sweet kwa jam. It was a very hard life. Kwanza kama wewe msichana, you face some challenges. Like kama wewe una hiyo protection unakaa tu hivyo. Sometimes ilikuwa unaona chakula kushibishi, kuna ile utama ya kuninio drug. Kuna yenye tulikuwa tunatumia sana iko common, inaitwa MC. MC ni yenye iko wanakupimia kwa chupa alafu unaweka kwa kitambaa alafu una inhale. Kukitumia huko una feel njaa sana. Siku mamangu alinifukuza kwa nyumba. Akaninyima chakula. Nikaokota kama takataka chakula.
The stories told by the children are heart-wrenching.
My mother died, my father left, and I am just staying with my grandmother. My grandmother, she's not stable, you see. I used to have a lot of pain inside me. I just decided to run away from my family. I went to the street. I used not to stay with people. I was just rude. But I paid a bus from Nairobi, Dandora, to Machakos. And that time, I'm a kid. I don't supposed to be alone in a bus. I was taken to a police station and I slept in a jail. for one good week.
Each one a painful testament to the weight of the trauma they have lived through.
Bezi ni maisha mbaya sana. Hakuna blanketi, hakuna chakula. Chakula tunaenda tunarokota dustbin. Chakula yenye watu wamebakisha, tunachukua tunakula. Ndio maana sasa hadi tumbo inatuma. Tulikuwa tunalala kwa gunia hadi mvua ikinyesha inatunyeshea. Tulikuwa tunajifunika na blanketi yetu, tulikuwa tunaita gunia.
Ukiingia ulale hapo ndani, sometimes wa polisi wanakuja, wanakumistreat, wanakupiga, wanawafukuza.
Yet there is a glimmer of hope in their words.
Nilikuwa nasoma na nilikuwa kwa mtihani number 1.
I hope to join Alliance Girls, and on my career STEM, I choose a doctor. Hope to join that school. It is from my heart.
A longing for love, for safety, for the simple joy of being a child again.
I would like to tell them that they be close to their kids first, and they learn how to talk to their kids. They know what is disturbing them, because for me, even it's not like we are lacking anything that much, but I just ran away because I had no one to talk to me, no one to hear me. I would like to tell them that they be close to their kids first, and they learn how to talk to their kids. They know what is disturbing them, because for me, even it's not like we are lacking anything that much, but I just ran away because I had no one to talk to me, no one to hear me.
At Dorothea Rescue Center, the children undergo rehabilitation during the first few months.
Life in Dorothea starts from the streets. We go to the streets, we visit them like three times in a week, and then we bond with these children, we bond with the girls, and they know us, and then from there, we bring them here. So the first day is shaving, showering, because some of them have been, maybe they have lice in the head, they are very dirty. And then there is now the detachment from street to now rehabilitation. So that action is very important. So they take, we lit the fire, and then they take their clothes and burn them to say that now they are detaching themselves from the street life to new life here in Dorothea. Sometimes girls disguise themselves to look like boys. They would dress like boys because of what and the torture they go through on the streets. It's a little tough on them. What they do, they sleep like 5 girls inside one sack to protect each other because of the abuses that are happening on the streets.
The girls follow a detoxification protocol to recover from the substances they consumed on the streets.
Most of these children have been using drugs on the streets. So they use jet fuel, they use gum, they use cocaine, they even use bangi on the streets. So they are already intoxicated. So after 21 days, now we go home to do home tracing, because we must get consent, we must look for their parents for them to allow them to be here. And then we also start informal learning meaning to start introducing them back now to studying. So they stay here for 3 months to 6 months, depending with each case. After that now, we enroll them now to the mainstream schools, and we pay for their school fees. And currently we have 43 girls that are in boarding schools. We have 15 that are in day school, and now we have the 10 girls just we rescued 2 weeks ago.
The center provides them with a safe shelter, education, healthcare, and vocational training to ensure their economic independence. After that, they are reintegrated to the society through home placement, boarding schools, or networking with other programs.
When we rescue a girl child, it's a total transformation, 100% transformation. There is no relapse.
The Dorothea Rescue Center has launched agricultural initiatives to cover operational costs. Dorothea Rescue Center, in partnership with Windsor Golf and Country Club, will hold a charity golf tournament on Friday, the 28th of March 2025, to raise funds in support of street girls' education and the construction of hostels. You are invited to buy a plate and save a street girl. It's an initiative that Citizen TV is also supporting. So buy a plate and support a street child, rehabilitate them, get them better prospects for their future, and allow them to be children again. Thank you very much, Dorothea Rescue Center, for allowing me to be part of that experience and allowing me to spend the day with those beautiful girls. Nimewasalimia. Hi girls, how are you? So we're going to be taking a very short break now, and we'll be back with more in just a bit. Stay with us. Tea sector earnings surged to 215 billion shillings in 2024 as Pakistan retains top importer sport.
At Amaco Insurance, we ensure safe journeys by protecting public vehicles and the lives on board. With every policy, we provide full coverage for peace of mind on every ride. Your trust makes us the #1 choice for PSV insurance. We also insure private and commercial vehicles, businesses, livestock, homes, schools, and more. Visit us today and let's plan your insurance together.
The Kiambu County Government, under His Excellency Governor Dr. Kimani Wamatangi, reminds traders to pay for their 2025 single business permits. Payments can be made directly to the county bank account or M-Pesa pay bill 4162022 using your invoice number as the account number. These funds shall support ongoing county projects such as completed 247 ECDE centers, over 30 level 4 and 3 hospitals, roads and farm inputs, among others. Governor Kimani Wamatangi, making Kiambu great again.
Sasa?
Wasan.
Ile stick ya zero sugar ni nini?
Ujui Club Zero? Hebu nikushow.
Festive seeded bread, zero added sugar, high in fiber and protein.
Mkate zero sugar.
Soma lebo.
Sasa Mama Tosh, wewe kwa Club Zero?
Nikose nichekwe.
Aya, nipe mbili, moja ya babu, ingine ya shosho. Asante. Shosh. Mkate ya Club Zero, imagine.
Festive Zero and Festive Wholemeal, zero added sugar and reduced salt.
Napenda. Asante sana mwanangu. Na hii Festive Wholemeal ni yako babu. Imepunguzwa chumvi, soma lebo.
This is very good. Hii mkate ya Heritage ina chumvi nyingi, alafu ni ngumu.
Karibuni Club Zero.
Carefully read the food label before consuming your products. The balanced recipe with reduced salt and zero added sugar is good for you and your family.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Just like the instinct to push limits is in your blood, or creating all kinds of social media content, or to concoct flavors that dance on the tongue, it's also in your blood to save lives. Donate today and ensure a tomorrow for you and all Kenyans. Join us. Visit a regional blood donation center near you to make your donation. Regional donation centers can be found near referral hospitals or county blood satellites within county hospitals, because it's in your blood to be the difference.
At Kenyatta National Hospital, the heart of Kenya's healthcare, one woman has been a constant. Anne Gishuhi, a nurse, a beacon of hope, a mother's first touch. She has witnessed the miracle of life and held the hands of those facing unimaginable loss. Now, her time at Kenyatta National Hospital is coming to an end. she prepares to hang up her stethoscope. She shares her highs and her lows and lifts the veils on the ins and outs of nursing. Catch her enduring legacy with Mary Mwoki this Sunday at 7 and 9 p.m.
Welcome back. Let's talk business. And Kenya's tea industry recorded strong growth in 2024, with production, earnings and exports rising significantly. However, concerns over security threats to investments in the sector have prompted the government to consider establishing a specialized agricultural police unit, as Denis Otieno reports.
According to latest figures from the Tea Board of Kenya, total earnings from tea sales in 2024 stood at 215 billion shillings, marking a 9% increase from the 197 billion shillings recorded in 2023. Exports accounted for the bulk of these earnings, bringing in 182 billion shillings, with Pakistan leading as the top importer, purchasing 206 million kilograms of Kenyan tea. Other key markets included Egypt, the UK, the UAE, Russia and India. Tea production in 2024 increased by 5% to 598.5 million kilograms, up from 570 million kilograms in 2023. The surge was attributed to favorable weather conditions, fertilizer subsidies, and expanded processing capacity. To further support farmers, the government facilitated access to 194,000 metric tons of fertilizer at subsidized rates, helping improve yields. However, challenges persist at the Mombasa tea auction, where the absorption rate of tea dropped to 55% in 2024 from 60% in 2023, reflecting market fluctuations. Meanwhile, the government has announced plans to establish an agricultural police unit as part of measures to protect investments in the tea value chain. Speaking in Mombasa, Agriculture CS Mutai Kagwe said the initiative is modelled after similar security measures in other sectors.
There is a tourism police unit. There is even an ICT police unit. But when you tell a person who has been chasing a gun runner in Githurai to now come and deal with somebody who has invaded a land, that mindset is completely different. When you tell somebody there is fake fertilizers being sold to tea farmers, it's a very different mindset. And the discussions and the investigations are some that require somebody who is investigating to understand what is a fake fertilizer, an expired fertilizer, and a proper fertilizer.
Tea remains Kenya's leading foreign exchange earner, contributing over 100 billion shillings annually to the economy. Denis Otieno, Citizen TV.
And the government plans to increase the acreage of land under irrigation in a bid to boost food production and enhance security. And this is contained in the National Irrigation Sector Investment Plan, an irrigation master plan aimed at revamping the sector. Speaking during a briefing ahead of the launch of the plan, Irrigation Principal Secretary Ephantus Kimotho says they are targeting over 1 million acres by 2030 by investing more in water harvesting, storage reservoirs, and optimized infrastructure. Irrigated land in the country currently stands at 712,000 acres, and the state is optimistic of increasing this figure through the plan.
NISIP intends to put 1 million acres under irrigation infrastructure, and this has been estimated, together with the water storage, it has been estimated to cost 598 billion. And of that, 39% will be funded by GOK and development partners, and 69% will be funded. 69% will be funded by the private sector. NISIP tries to address the very many gaps which have been in the sector. In the sector, we have quite a number of stakeholders, but they've all been working in silo. So NISIP tries to bring all these players together in a coordinated manner.
Kenya risks losing up to 493 billion shillings in export revenue by the year 2034 if the government does not reverse the withdrawal of key plant protection products. And this is according to the Agrochemicals Association of Kenya, which notes that the removal of 8 active ingredients by the end of 2024 is expected to shrink the GDP by 6% and cause a 7.28% decline in gross national income in 2025, significantly impacting farmers and exporters alike. The withdrawn products are essential for protecting crops from pests, diseases, and weeds, ensuring stable yields and supporting key export commodities like coffee, horticulture, and tropical fruits. The group has called for a phased approach to product withdrawals, which they say is essential to ensure a stable transition.
Tunahimiza kwamba serikali iweze kukuja kwenye ground, tuweze kushirikiana nao sisi kama wakulima na tuwasaidia tuweze kujua ni mahali wapi ambapo tunahitaji usaidizi, ni wapi hasa tunahitaji kufunzwa, madawa gani tunapaswa kutumia, kutoka kwa begu hadi ukulima wenyewe, land preparations, ni nini hapaswa tunastahili kujua na ni wapi tunapaswa kuelekea kama mkulima. Kwa sababu tukiwa na yale mafunzo tutaweza kufanya zaidi na tutaweza kuhakikisha kwamba chakula kimetutosheleza.
We're going to be coming back with all the day sports. That's in just a bit. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When I have back pain, I reach for 2 tablets of Panadol Extra. It's boosted by caffeine for fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, and muscle pain. And I am finally released from pain and ready to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective relief from strong pain.
Want to study in the USA or Canada, but worried about tuition fee? Africa Airlift Initiative will help you secure scholarship and student loan. Whether you're looking to start your undergraduate, diploma, transfer, pursue a master's, or advance to a PhD, we've got you covered. Get expert guidance every step of the way. Visit AfricaAirliftinitiative.com or call 0719 857754. Africa Airlift Initiative. Success beyond borders.
Places everyone, we are rolling in a few. Camera, makeup, ready, action.
Hello food lovers. Today we'll be making lasagna. For the ingredients, tomato paste, some cheese. We will go for a short break. We will be back after these messages.
Usiku na mchana tuna deliver. Get 300 bob off your next order on orders above 3,000 Kenya shillings. Use code C4app. Order now.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Please can I have that and that? Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Ukiwin, beshte yako in your local shop win too. Hii ni the Cadbury Big Win-Win. Nunua any 2 participating Cadbury products. Scan QR code ama WhatsApp hi kunominate beshte yako in your local shop. Stand a chance ya kushinda share yako in cash prizes plus more. A win for you is a win for all. T's and C's apply.
mkipeana heshima ni vizuri, lakini mkianza kugombana mbele za watu mnapeleka mambo ya aibu.
We're in a situation that only concerns the family.
Like it or not, he's still your dad, and I'm still your sister.
Sports now, and the alarm bells are ringing louder. And Nairobi City Stars out of the Simba wa Nairobi were pushed to the bottom of the FKF Premier League following a 2-0 defeat at the hands of lethal Sofapaka FC. City Stars are tied on 22 points with Bidco United and Talanta FC, but they have conceded more goals. At the top of the league, Tusker FC are back at the summit after 3 weeks following a hard-fought 2-1 win over a battling Posta Rangers at the Dandora Stadium. Tusker took the lead in the 26th minute with a goal by Teddy Odok. 4 minutes later, David Polepole added the second goal for a comfortable 2-0 lead. At halftime in the second half, Felix Oluoch pulled a goal back for Posta Rangers, but they eventually lost 2-1. Tusker lead on 44 points, 2 points ahead of Police FC in second position, but with a game in hand. Gor Mahia is in third position, 5 points behind Tusker, but with 2 games in hand.
Huyu ni David Polepole. Usampira. Leto ndani kule. Felix Oluoch Mboya anasema ni hapa baada haijaisha mpaka ishe. Anafunga goli lake la 5 la msimu. Hawajamini wamefungwa na set piece Tusker. Ndio nguvu yao hiyo.
Kenya clinched bronze in men's traditional football on the last day of competition at the 2025 Special Olympics Winter Games in Turin, Tunisia. After losing to Denmark in the semi-finals, Kenya win a class of their own as they demolished Namibia 8-0 in a one-sided match. Kenya were quick off the blocks and scored the first goal within 20 seconds of the match starting. They scored 3 more to lead 4-0 at halftime. Namibia were reduced to 3 for 1 minute in the second half as their goalkeeper was sent to the sin bin. Kenya scored 2 goals with the keeper absent and added another 2 for the emphatic victory. This was Kenya's first appearance in football at the Games. They conclude tomorrow with the awards and closing ceremony in the evening.